Hey everybody, it's Patrick. Welcome back to another episode of RevTalks. Today we're joined by Saheer. How's it going today, Saheer?
Very good, pretty good, Patrick. Thank you so much.
Of course, I appreciate you jumping on and taking some time out of your day to be on RevTalks. Would you mind giving us some high-level overview about Paywint, who you guys are, and what you guys do?
Sure, Patrick. Let me talk about Paywint a little bit. Paywint is it's a digital wallet, something like Cash App, Chime, Venmo, but we are more focused on businesses. So business can hold funds, they can collect, they can hold, and they can do instant payouts. We have uh, fund collection from more than 40 countries right now, and we do support payouts to more than 180. That is Paywint.
Amazing. And when it comes down to new customers for the actual business, how do most of them find you? What's kind of the story behind some of the deals?
Yeah, that's the biggest question, because marketing is the one of the because fintech is one of the most competitive industry. We have multiple marketing methods, especially we attend global fintech events. We are attending Money 20. We are an official sponsor of Money 20 Asia, which is in Bangkok. In 2026, we are planning to attend multiple global events which are focused on SMBs and fintechs. So that is one of our method, but we do digital marketing like that.
Nice. And I know you obviously mentioned that fintech is a space that is getting not overpopulated, but more competitive by the day. Obviously, same thing with lead generation and marketing and things like that. And honestly, any space, especially AI too. With that being said, what's been a challenge when it comes down to acquiring customers, especially in this competitive landscape where there seems to be new AI companies, new fintech companies every single day, new lead generation companies, things like that?
One of the biggest challenges identifying a low risk customer, because the biggest challenge we face is high risk profiles getting on board. And we do have a strong AML policy, we do have a strong tracking system, we do have a risk algorithm, but still, that is the biggest challenge, finding out or maintaining their risk profile. But we use third-party tools like we use Plaid. We are partnered with Plaid. We are partnered with Persona for KYC, KYB, and all. So that is the challenge, but still.
I see. So it's actually not on the customer acquisition side of things. It's more on the fulfillment. So actually being compliant and things like that is what you're talking about.
That's correct. Customer acquisition is not a big problem, because we do have a good marketing team and marketing skills and things. But risk profile is the biggest challenge,
Understood.
because we
Makes
have to
sense.
meet the compliance by the bank or our provider.
And are there specific solutions that are kind of go-to in the marketplace that help out with that compliance issue and everything revolving around staying compliant, being compliant, and all of that?
Yeah, but still, we just like I say, we use multiple third-party tools, and we also have our own internal tracking system. Especially, we track their historical risk profile, and we assess ourselves. Then we have multiple banking providers also, so we assess their risk profile. Then we onboard them with the appropriate banking partner, so that we make sure the business get onboarded in the right channel. And the same time, the business, if the risk score is behind the, beyond the level, then we will off.
And as of right now, how many active customers do you guys have?
We have, I think, Paywint, just like I said, Paywint is our new product. We are in fintech for last around 10 years, and we have a good network in the industry. So Paywint is our brand new baby. I think we have nearly more than 100,000 active customers, but it's growing every day.
And I know you mentioned obviously the fintech and payment side of things is more on the newer rollouts from the assembly line and ideation and everything. What are some previous solutions or services you guys have historically offered to the marketplace other than obviously this financial payment solution?
You mean before Paywint or?
Yes, before payment.
I'm basically a physician. I'm a doctor. I'm a medical graduate, licensed physician. But right after my license, I jump into financial space. We had a couple of retail business based in Texas, Dallas, Texas, and but I was more into technology and finance. So I just combined that finance and technology. Then I jumped into fintech.
Absolutely. And when it comes down to the fintech space, how exactly did you get introduced to that? How did you kind of go from being in more the corporate world, being a physician, licensed physician, and then obviously transitioning to founding your own business? How did that kind of play a role? It's obviously two different sides of the coin.
So that is, that's a highly challenging industry, right? We convert, we do have some enterprise customers, but we have a NDA signed, so I don't want to disclose it. But converting enterprise customer is the biggest challenge because they will have their own requirements, they will have their own fund flow. So that fund flow, most of the time, it will not be meeting the compliance. So we have to reshape the fund flow, then we have to make them to follow the compliance by the banking system. So we have to convince them, we have to do back to back meetings. But we have a good team, good sales team. So they do that, but still it's a good challenge.
Nice. And can you talk about that a little bit more? Obviously, tapping into the enterprise segment is something that a lot of the audience members that actually watch this channel are maybe looking to do somewhere in the near future or even right now. It's obviously a challenge. It's something that is kind of almost end game for a lot of businesses. What kind of tips or tricks or insights do you have when selling to an upper market segment?
Right. Paywint is, there are thousands of financial technology platforms, especially the big players like Stripe, PayPal. There are plenty, but Paywint we built from the scratch itself in a way that it is totally customizable. At the same time, it is meeting the compliance. So if any enterprise say they need to have in this way, in the particular way, we can customize it in any way they want it. For example, suppose a enterprise business in New York, they have a way or they have a supplier back in Europe or let it be in Japan, and they say the Japan guy say they want to get paid through the crypto, and the New York guy he want to pay from the bank account like ACH, the traditional way. So that is the problem nowadays the business is facing multiple payment cross payment solutions. So in that case, we can facilitate in any way the payer want to make the payment and the receiver want to receive the payment. We can
I see.
cross connect it.
That makes sense. And so obviously that is more catered towards an upper market segment to even just begin with. That's a better solution for businesses that are probably transacting, not through Stripe or not through some other third party processor, but rather actually need some sort of almost white label solution to where they can really plug and play it, and then also have the ability to charge customers throughout their native payment processor or way of payment and then converts to theirs as well.
That's correct. We do provide a API service. We do have white label solutions. If, for example, if any platform, they already have a product and they want to just integrate the financial service into their product, so we can enable API service. Or
Makes
if
sense.
anybody want to build it from the scratch, we can give them complete white label model.
Definitely. And how exactly do you go about really kind of selling to an enterprise segment? Obviously, I think a lot of people can get some insight from how you do it. Is it more, obviously, it's relational based, so it's who you know, how you know them. But more importantly, when it really comes down to a matter of sale, how does that go about for your process? How do you typically do that?
Yeah, mainly, enterprise customers, they come through the network from our, because, I do have a good network in the industry, and most of the time, the banking people, they refer the enterprise because most of the time, enterprise customer will go to the bank. Bank is the most trusted place for the enterprises. But the traditional banks, they don't have any modern solutions. For example, just like I say, the if the business want to make a payment to Japan through in the crypto channel, most of the time bank will not be having the solution. Or you know the Japan guy, or let it be in Dubai, he say he wanna get paid in the local rail in Dubai. So most of the time bank will not be able to support it. So that time the bank will offer the customer to us. And also, we attend multiple events globally. So from the event also, especially SME events, and we are in discussion with multiple SMB events in uh, United States this year. So that also will get enterprise customers.
That makes sense. That makes sense. And what exactly really, or were you born and raised in Dallas? Or why sort of centralize yourself in the Dallas, Texas area? Obviously, we're both living in Texas right now, which is pretty cool. I like Texas. So
No,
what kind of
actually, I'm born and brought up in India, in the south part of India. It is one of the best place. We call it God's own country. That is south part of India, which is called Kerala. Kerala is having 100% literacy rate. We are highly educated in the country. That's what the statistics says. Okay, not me saying. So that's where I born and brought up. Find not even a single person who don't complete their graduation in Kerala. So I born and brought up over there, and right now I'm here.
definitely makes sense? And I assume schooling brought you to the States, or did the actual business?
I mean, schooling, they actually complete their graduation in somehow in any subject. So that is Kerala people. I mean, that's where I belong to. That's what I was saying.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What made you want to come to the US and especially Texas? Texas is a huge state and things like that.
Of course, we have a lot of opportunity here. This is one of the best place in the world, Dallas, Texas. I see, a lot of opportunity. We have a lot of network. And for the business also, it's more friendly here. It's more, and the community also very good, the good people over here.
Definitely. That makes a lot of sense. And kind of shifting back to more of obviously the business conversation when it comes down to the company website and what you guys offer in terms of solutions, how have you kind of differentiated or added a collective amount of solutions? I know on the company website, you guys have obviously the payment solution, but then other solutions are sales management, inventory management. Is that all under the one platform that you guys are actually able to customize and white label, or are those completely different services and solutions, or how do you guys offer those to the marketplace?
Correct. It's all under one umbrella, one roof. We can customize it anyway. For example, in a small business, they say they just want to manage their inventory. They don't want any payment solution. We still can set it up for them. Or if they say they just want to do payment money movement only, we can still facilitate it without any store setup or inventory setup. So it's completely under one roof.
Makes sense. And where exactly on the internet can we find you? You can go ahead and shout out the company website, your LinkedIn, things like that. Just go ahead and give the audience some socials.
Yeah, we are everywhere in the digital world. We are listed. I'm sorry, I'm a Forbes Business Council executive member also. So we are everywhere in the internet space. We have the website is, of course, it's paywint.com, or we are in LinkedIn, TikTok, or social medias everywhere, Facebook. And yeah, and we have a lot of media release came from a lot of major publications.